So, I am here at Stylist Live. I'm actually pretty excited about it. I've been looking forward to this for a while. There's lots of workshops and a bit of shopping and a lot of really great stuff that's going to be happening today. So, let's go have some fun, shall we?
So every month in the UK there's 100,000 searches of people looking at how to start a blog. That's just in the UK. By talking about your blogging business model, then we're going to talk about your personal brand, we're going to talk about income streams, and we're going to talk about timescales. And these are just four of the elements that the most successful bloggers have brought in together that have helped them on their journey to grow these huge monetized, profitable blogs. The easiest way to think about it is if you take a hugely famous brand like Apple, you go into their stores and you get a certain sort of feeling. And that feeling is consistent across everything they do, and you know why and how you can trust them. Personal branding is how a person makes people feel that same way through messages. Part of it's about what you wear and how you talk, and it's about your site design, and it's about your the content you write. It's a whole myriad of factors that end up giving your readers an impression of you and a feeling of you. And there is another illness that's quite similar that someone told me about the other day called statistikitis, which is a similar thing, and it's about comparing your statistics or your likes and retweets with other people's and then sitting at home and basically feeling like crying into a cup of tea. So when you're looking at established bloggers, remember this, you're almost certainly looking at someone who started before you. There is no shortcut to making this work. But the good news is, the fact that they're making money from it shows that it can be done.
Although it was only added to the English dictionary 10 years ago, the word blog has become an everyday part of life for so many of us. More women than ever are looking to fashion blogs for everyday style inspiration, and they've really changed the face of the fashion industry. They've become a respected part of the mainstream fashion press.
I kind of just thought, oh well, I'm just going to start this blog and it's going to be like a hobby, and I'll do it during my lunch hour, I'll do it before work, after work. I was working in advertising at the time, like something really.
And then I was just like posting about anything, like my makeup looks, my fashion looks, and you know, it was all going side by side with my YouTube channel. So that's how I got started, and it was such a fun thing in the beginning, still fun, it was my hobby. So it was something I do after school every day, at the weekend, so it was really, really good. Blogging frequently, tagging your posts properly,
making sure that your blog posts are searchable, really gets your Google ranking up. So those sort of things really helped in the beginning.
I think when it first started, it was kind of like a natural to do it, but we didn't actually realise actually that was probably the trick, the secret to it. Is you just, it has a thing on there that says, what keyword. So you just put beauty, fashion, style, boots, and lots of people obviously searching these terms at the time and not really seeing like normal people talk about this stuff, and that's what created the interest behind it.
Viewing content through their mobiles, so Instagram, Snap, Insta Stories, those platforms are much more immediate and much more, let's say, prevalent in people's kind of reading mind.
What a lot of people don't realise is that as bloggers and content creators, we are generating ideas constantly. Like, it's something that's kind of like it goes on in a cycle. And I think a challenge that a lot of us face is that whole kind of like, how frequent should we have it, or what is it, more quality or is it more quantity? And I think because you go through phases, I think it's very important to have that in mind. I think it starts off with forming a personal brand as well, and just in general what your brand, sort of like brand image is, and what your unique selling point is. But as long as you have that, you can sort of like form and place worth and value in the work that you do. You can create like a rate card and say, okay, a blog post is going to cost this much. A video or a mention or tweets or Instagram post, and you can sort of like think about how much that costs depending on how much value you place on your own work. And I always have the analogy of, you're not going to go into Harrods and expect Primark prices. You're not going to go into Primark and expect Harrods prices. It's about how much value you put on your work and say, hey, if you want me to do it, this is how much it's going to cost. So you do that, and you open yourself up to negotiation as well, and approach brands and say, hey, I've got this blog, it's been up and running for about a year. I do writing and I take pictures. Would you like to work with me? And just be really proactive in networking. And one of the best tools to use this is Twitter. Follow the brands that you like, follow the other bloggers that you are inspired by, and just engage with their content.
I do think it's tricky at the beginning. Obviously, when you've just started, you may not necessarily have a following yet, so you can't necessarily go to brands and say, hey, here's my rate card, I have like 100 followers. Because it is a numbers game, unfortunately, today, where brands are literally just looking at your Instagram following, your numbers, and going, okay, well, is this worth my time or not? But as Shirley said, I think, what's really great is that brands are also looking to have their content created, and they're looking to use the skills of good photographers, either like if you've got like a USP, like you're an illustrator, or you've got a unique approach to beauty videos, I don't know, tutorials or anything like that.
Or writing style.
Yeah, or writing style, then they might be able to find a use for it and commission you to do something, so that it's not necessarily like more like an open collaboration where they're asking a blogger to feature in their video, but you're more working like behind the scenes and creating content for them, and that's a really, really good way of getting started.